almost 11 o'clock hours, so this is perfect timing. 10:58. And I don't know, I just feel so uneasy today. I've been feeling uneasy the whole weekend, spiritually and emotionally, probably more than spiritually, more emotionally, physically. I don't like Scorpio season. I think that we already know this, but I genuinely do not enjoy it. Well, this video is going to be about my second trimester. I'm so ready for these braids to come out of my head. My second trimester, I am currently 25 weeks, 24 weeks, because I mean, this whole time is the whole energy behind the pregnancy, and like just kind of like, you know, from the very beginning, I always was like, they will ask, when's your last menstrual cycle, and I'm just like, honestly, I don't know exactly, but I can guess for you, and if we're guessing, then, you know, we're around here and there. A woman said to me that they have cards under my radiator. That was my niece. My niece did this. Oh, what cards is it? Queen of Fire, confident, warm, intelligent, graceful. Two of Air, being unable, unwilling to make a decision, a stalemate, pretending there's no problem. Pretty accurate. These are cards I was under the radiator that my niece, you know, dropped down there. So that's always the message. But yeah, so there was a woman, when I was at work, there was a woman who said, are you 6? She said, you're about 6 months, right? And I was like, yeah, I am. She said, I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse for 30 years or something like that. She was the cutest lady. She was so funny. So because she said that, I trusted that one about 6 months, you know, but you know, more or less. And you know, it's kind of hard to say based on size of the babies too, because they are twins, so they are a little bit smaller than like a singleton baby with inside the belly. But you know, I trust the doctor sometimes, and I just, you know, I'm more into somebody spiritually and just like intuitively knowing answers versus someone who's telling me answers from like this book or like this like science and logic of mine. And sometimes that's not always right, you know. Sometimes it's a little bit deeper than black and white, you know, textbook wording, lettering, writing, you know. Sometimes a little bit more than that. So I play, I dip and I dab. I like when it's like this. I think I'm gonna do this for the baby shower. So that's what I've been doing lately, is a lot of resting, which has been very hard to do because I am a rester in the sense of like, you know, like I like being home and things like that, but I am not a rester. Like, I like to be out and about, on the scene, in the know. For myself, like not even like with people or anything like that. Like honestly, I just like to enjoy life, you know? So I'm always like, someone wants to do something, I'm usually like, okay, I'll go, and you know. But lately I'm just like, I'm not going nowhere. I want to be home. I'm gonna stay home and I'm going to rest, and I'm doing that, you know, for myself because I want to, because it's like I don't want to push myself, you know. I don't really want to push my body. I don't want to push my heart and my mind. That's not where I am. But the second trimester has been definitely very different than the first. The first trimester was I had a lot of high energy. I was a lot more protective in the first trimester of myself and of the babies. In the first trimester, so this is something that I never really talked about. I'm not into sharing like super personal information anyway, but you know, like the pregnancy has definitely opened up a portal for me sharing something personal in my life. And then like the relationship that I was in with their father is definitely like a very personal experience for me. But it boiled down to me actually having to choose how I wanted to be involved with him, because it was either I was going to play the game that he ultimately wanted to play and that we've always played before, but I outgrew. And it wasn't, I wouldn't call it a game, but it's kind of like a, like he's a Scorpio, so his energy, and I'm a Cancer, but my chart is dominated by fire. His chart is dominated by, I got it right here. My book of shadows is right here because I was drying a flower in here and I had to leave it on top underneath my water jug in here. So my book of shadows is here. My chart is dominated by fire. I have a lot of Leo in my chart. My moon is in Sagittarius. His chart is dominated by water, fire, air, water, fire, water, water. I would say water. So he's a lot of placements in Scorpio. First 5 important. I would say a lot of water. And a lot of water and a lot of fire. So we were very passionate people with each other. And then when I found out I was manifesting a baby, and then when I found out I was actually pregnant, the temperament changes. Just naturally a woman is just like, okay, well, the focus is now shifted. And I always say, like, for men, they don't really experience the pregnancy until the baby is here. And we women start when as soon as we find out we're pregnant, as soon as we just know that we're pregnant, we're just like, okay, the mind just switches, which I think about is so interesting sometimes. I was watching a show with this woman. She was, on drugs, like a crackhead. And she said she never did it. She never was on drugs when she was pregnant. So it's crazy how, like, your mind is like, switches when you're pregnant, and how you could be sober for 9 months and then after you're not pregnant anymore, you just completely go back to this lifestyle, which is so interesting to me. But so your mind just shifts and everything is like different now, and for the man it's a little bit different. So he's more interested in maintaining this passion, and I realized that for him, and this like kind of like a tug of war that we both honestly enjoyed, kind of like built our relationship off of. And I wasn't interested in doing that anymore. And then I was also noticing a lot of different personality and like mental health changes and issues arise as the time went on. I was also realized too that I spent a lot of time like by myself. I did like to smoke a lot, I did like to drink a lot, and I realized that since I wasn't doing that anymore, a lot, not even that I saw him for what it was, but I was present more, and I was more like remembering things versus when I wasn't like paying attention or just worrying about myself or just like smoking and creating art and just having fun and do whatever I wanted to do. If something between him happened, the next time I talked to him, a lot of times I didn't remember what happened before, and I would just be like, I'm acting off of how I feel right now. I want to talk to you right now, so that's what I'm going to do. Versus like me remembering why I got upset with him last time or why he got upset with me last time. It was always just like, I don't know why we was fighting. But since I wasn't smoking, drinking, I wasn't going out, I wasn't, interacting with different energies, and I was just maintaining myself and kind of like, maintaining him, being around in a way, I kind of started to like see things that I had missed before, and I was like, right now that's not going to really work for me. And so I kind of just was like, I need to shut that door. So I just shut the door. So that happened in the first trimester, which I'm not, didn't really hurt me, because over time too, a lot of times you grieve certain situations and relationships that you see ending. You're already like, I already knew like things were happening, and I was just like, he's not gonna really be here that long. I don't genuinely want him to be here that long around me. I kind of really started to enjoy my solitude and me like enjoying my pregnancy and not being around so much grief sometimes. So it was kind of like, you don't have to be here. I really can't handle this right now. So I kind of was like already letting go. So it wasn't like painful for me or anything. I'm very independent, very like, you know, life is life. So I'm always like, go find yourself and find your way on your own time. So I kind of was just like, okay, like that was fine for me. I think what gets me more is shifting my mind. I think this is what's happening now, especially this weekend recently, is being in this space of actually being in the space of reality. Because for some reason this past weekend has really opened up this door of like reality. Like this is reality being presented to you now. This is real in your face. Like that's the bottom line, what you're seeing. There's no like this is reality. There's no like this down here hiding, and there's no like this up here hiding. Like this is just it right here. So that happened this weekend. So I was kind of like forced to just sit down and kind of just exist a little bit and just rest. And so like now I'm thinking more of like, okay, the reality is that you're pregnant right now. You have babies in your body. The reality is you're not going to be pregnant at some point. The reality is things are changing. The reality is, and I mean, those things are presented to you, you know, in the beginning. I knew this, but it was, you know, the excitement, I wouldn't say it has faded, but it has become reality now. It's not just like, oh my goodness, oh, now it's like, more on a daily basis. Before, it was up and down in the first trimester. Now it's more of like a daily basis of like, realizing that things are about to be changed and things are going to get done and things like that. My baby shower is getting closer to date, so that's kind of like, I wouldn't say it's a worry because I'm giving it away to like the people who in my life and my sisterhood and my coven who want to help. I'm letting them help, and I'm not micromanaging because I can be that way, and if I see it, like I can visualize what I want, and so I'm like, I know exactly what I want, and I don't want anything else. And I'm usually good at getting what I want, but because it's someone else making the moves for me, I have to kind of like let that go. So that's been a work for myself to just be like, okay, I know that task is being handled. I'm gonna have to just accept it as it is when it comes, because it might not be exactly what I want, but it's going to be just as divine. That's okay. And I'm also giving my baby shower too. It's 11/11. It's 11/11 on 11/11. I wish I could take a picture of that. I just do like this. And I'm giving the baby shower to my ancestors and divine goddess and God flow, because I just feel like it's a good time to have a celebration to them, for them, in honor of them and of myself and of the babies and of just this blessing in this creation. So the baby shower was not a worry for me. It's just kind of like I really wanted to turn out really well, which I know it will. It's just, you know, always in the back of your mind, you're like, am I doing everything I need to do? Do I need to do anything else? You know, how do I do this the cheapest way without being so cheap that you're not even like allowing for prosperity and abundance to flow into you, but you're also being like mindful, you know? It's a very difficult balance. Yeah, so I have to remember to sit up through here sometimes because it gets so tight, because the pregnancy does make you go like this a lot, and I have to kind of like stretch myself out. here. So yeah, that's one thing. What else? My body's changing. Not really, not that much. Just eating more. My belly's getting bigger, which is always so interesting to look at because it just feels like just yesterday when I found out. It's happening so fast. But is it really? Like, I also feel very pregnant all the time. Like, it's so many different things to feel, and I'm just imagining, like, visual and like seeing spiritually. So I guess now I'm thinking more too of like, I just took out the bag that I want to use to pack to go to the hospital. I didn't pack it yet. I have a list of things. I need to order some things off Amazon too. I'm very organized in that way, and I also like to have everything that I need and that I could possibly need with me. So I can already see myself like packing halfway, but when the time actually gets really close, I think I have to remember that too, of like, your body's going to tell you. Like, I'm thinking like, I'm just gonna wake up and it's gonna be like immediately. Like, I think it's gonna be like gradual for me, especially because I feel myself. I feel my body a lot, so I think it's gonna be like a gradual, like, something's happening. I think I need to get ready, and I'll just start doing that from there. I'm not scared of childbirth. The idea and the concept it doesn't scare me. Like, it's kind of like one of those things I always say, like, women have been giving birth forever. Like, that, I mean, since the dawn of time. Like, there's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to be afraid of. What's the worst that can happen? There's many things that can happen. But, I mean, that's just how it's supposed to be if it happens that way, you know? And to just do the best to be healthy and stay positive. I have to watch more videos on, you know, breathing techniques and things like that. I don't know, I don't know if it's the pregnancy that makes me feel uneasy or, because I feel fine. Second trimester has not really, like, it just really made me rest more. And I just feel like, you know, I just want to give myself the opportunity for my babies to grow and to be healthy. That's it. I had some ideas to talk about. I was going to talk about, like, my dream candle. My dreams have been so strange lately, but it's more of like an underlying, like, my subconscious feelings, which is kind of interesting to me because I haven't really cried as much as I normally do during this pregnancy. I cry a lot, and not because, like, I'm sad. Like, it's just like, that's just one of those things that I do. I'm a Cancer, and that's just like a release and a flow for me. So I used to cry like once a week, twice a week. I have not really cried as much as I did before, and so I don't know if it's like my mother instincts is kicking in, and now I'm tapping into like my fire side more than my water side at the moment. But or I'm tapping into, because they will most likely be Aquarian babies, which that's the energy I'm getting from them, is that they're going to be Aquarius children. And so tapping into that side of them, because it does feel like they are definitely doing a work within me. I definitely felt like they were protecting me for a very long time. I feel like they're still protecting me, which is why, like, my dreams have not really been making sense to me, because it's like I'm not feeling the things that my dreams are telling me that I'm supposed to be feeling. I'm not feeling, you know, like, the only dream that really made sense was the one I had last night about, it was around my baby shower. But it wasn't the same month, It wasn't the same location, but it was like this energy of like it's today, and I'm like it's not today, and people were showing up, and I'm like it's not today, and so we're just like running around frantic, and so I'm like okay, that's just me being nervous and like worried about stuff that's just like, you know. And then like an aunt was there that I haven't talked to, and she's like, well, everybody's here now, so like it was just like so weird, and I'm like it's not today, it's not today, it's in May. I kept saying it's in May, which that's when I conceived, when they were conceived. But I should think about, you know, sometimes is it new moons or full moons? So full moons, they usually, I really like to do this thing where I go back in my journals where I like to write to when the last new moon was, and see what I was asking for, how I was feeling then, and then see how far I've come so far. So I'm gonna look into that, but to see how I was feeling, you know, a month ago. But I'm also probably gonna look into my May. Well, that's the dub, because all my notebooks are like in the storage we have in the house, and I can't get in there. And because I had to move them, they were like piling up. Damn. If I look on my Instagram stories, I can see how I was feeling this past May. I remember seeing in my calendar that when I found out about the being pregnant, I had nothing planned that weekend. I wasn't doing anything that weekend. Which I thought was interesting, because I'm very good at keeping track of what I have to do. My calendars usually look very packed, and for some reason that week prior, and I think after, was not packed at all. And the week after I was going to New Orleans, but the week before I was like, I found out in Cancer season on my birthday season I was in New Orleans. I don't know. I just keep saying this morning when I was getting dressed and stuff, I'm like, I just feel so uneasy, and I brought tissue over here because I feel like I was gonna cry, but I don't know where that went. Like, it was here, like I was feeling things here, but I don't know where it went. You know, a lot of feelings too is that, you know, I notice a lot of people tell me that, you know, I make the pregnancy look easy, and I make, you know, I'm so happy and I'm so joyful, and I am, like, in an overall sense, I really am, and I feel those, you know, that chemical hormones and like that energy within me like activating right now. I'm just feeling like genuinely happy, and I am. And it's so strange, I'm always looking for like this like sadness of like, you know, I'm used to like being happy, and then the next moment just being like and another moment being like I'm happy, and like not in like this weird way, but kind of like a, you know, fluctuation of feelings. It just happens. Feelings are like that. But because I've been feeling so 11:22. Looks like 11:55, but it's 11:22. I've just been feeling so happy, and I'm like, I'm looking for the sadness. Where's the sadness? And then sometimes I feel guilty for having such a joyful pregnancy. Sometimes I feel guilty for like sometimes I feel guilty for not feeling bad that I don't communicate with their father, for not feeling bad for not having a conventional relationship. Ain't that crazy? Like I'm in exactly the space that I knew I was gonna be in, that I wanted to be in, and I feel guilty. Like I'm happy, I feel, you know, grateful, I feel my body doesn't feel sick, it feels well. You know, it's my babies are growing. Every time I was out there, they're doing phenomenal. But I'm still like, oh my God, I feel so bad. I shouldn't feel that way. Why? Let's type this that. Why do I feel bad for feeling good? Why do I feel bad for feeling free? Why do I feel bad for not being worried about, things that other people are normally worried about? Why do I feel bad for, being wanting to be home with my family, wanting to stay home more? This whole weekend I did a shower, I did brush my teeth. Why did I feel bad that I did that? If I honestly felt good, I felt so much joy at just being home and not having to get up and rush to anything. We had plans yesterday and me and my family, and I'm like, I don't really feel up to it right now. And it just, the plans changed and it was fine. I feel free, I feel calm. I feel so calm. And that's one of the reasons why too, of like, you have to make decisions that feel right for you. And I feel like, I don't know if what people expect, I don't really think about it that much, but I feel like the overall essence of society makes you feel like you're supposed to have things a certain type of way, and if you don't, then you're wrong. And I've always been the type of person that's just like, well, no, because that's not what I want. So, but now I'm just like, I'm looking at the outside and I'm like, ooh, am I wrong? But I'm not. If I had stayed in the relationship that I was in and tried so hard to keep that relationship just because we're having a baby together, I would have been so miserable. And I say this all the time, how grateful I am that I was strong in myself to say, you know what, I don't really want to do that to myself. I'm enjoying this, and this is something that's like once, it could really just be once in a lifetime. But God forbid, these are my only babies that I have. God forbid, this is the only pregnancy that I experience. I would like to experience it more. What if I can't? What if I don't? What if I choose not to? After everything, and this is the only one that I get, and I ruin it because I'm letting other people. I'm letting my relationship, a partner, make me feel low or bad, or I'm trying to like hold on to something that is not there, and I'm worrying about friends, and I'm worrying about so many things that just are outside of my control. I would have been so miserable. And I'm so grateful that I freed myself of that I just said to myself, no, we're not gonna ruin this experience with this being. No, that's not happening. I love that. I'm so grateful. I'm so proud of myself for being able to say something like that. I feel like, maybe I did feel bad, but I don't feel bad anymore. Like maybe I did like wake up and feeling like uneasy, but talking in this video really helps because it's kind of like a lot of things that was like weighing on me are not really real in true essence. Like I'm just more, also too, I think I was spent a lot of time thinking about my purpose again and like what I'm supposed to be doing, because the work I was doing before was for other people. It was for like sharing myself and my knowledge that I've gained, and putting myself, I wouldn't say in tricky situations, but in situations where I had to come out of it with a lesson. And so I'm always the one to be like, I'll do that. Because on the other side of that, it's going to be a great lesson. And I want to be a part of that. And I've always been that person. And I like that. But I'm not giving myself to people. And that's also a shift in energetics for myself too, because that's all I used to do. I would spend a lot of my time with readings, with chanting candles, with creating art that was from me, but for others. Always for others. Being in the hair industry, I would, I will work all the time. I consider myself to be a great employee, a great creator, a great, everything I do very, very well. I show up well, I'm professional, and I'm talented. And so like, this whole time I've been, building myself up, I'm building up my self-confidence and building up who I am and what I am in the external world. honestly, in my relationships with people, in my relationships at work, in my career. So everything has been a giving, and I've been receiving in this way of like, as long as I'm giving my energy out to the world, so much as I get it, as I'm gonna receive it back, whether they know they're giving to me or not. I'm always gonna receive something in return. And so I feel like I received something ultimate right now in return with my twins. And I'm like, it's interesting now having to not give myself to other people and having to just be like, this is for me. I'm not creating art for nobody. If I create art, it's staying in my house. It's for me and my children. If all the things I'm learning is about how to be a mother to my children, everything is like have turned from me giving it out to this world to me giving it inside of myself and giving it to myself. And so I'm like, that feels different too. It does. Because now it's not about anybody else but myself. And now it's like, it's lonely, but in a good way, like in the best way, because it's like there's nobody else. If it's about you, there's nobody else. Like it's just you, because it's about you. So there's nobody else that you can really involve in it. And I have my sisterhood, my friends, my family, that I'm like, we can communicate, but at the end of the day, I was thinking about those memes that's going around with what's her name? Her name is Kim, but I don't know her last name. And she's like from the Housewives of Beverly Hills, and she's like, she's yelling, and the cat is like, she's like, at the end of the day, the cat's like, at the end of the day. It's so funny to me, but that's what you think about. At the end of the day, it's just you by yourself. It's just you by yourself, and so it's very lonely, but it feels good. And so just shifting the energetics too is kind of like a work in itself, because it's like, okay, now I'm like resting for myself. Now I'm doing things for myself. I started working less because I don't want to push myself too hard, because I needed the flexibility to be able to move about. I'm moving into the space of like, what's next in my career that I can like attain and like I can grasp that makes sense to me and my family. And so now I'm like working on like wrapping my energies around manifesting that, and so that's a whole new energy in itself. So now it's not it's different when you're not working with trying to incorporate other adult beings and other beings that did not come from you, and trying to, now I'm like working around this energy of like me and my babies. Well, what is gonna be good for us three, and not, because I'm thinking about it now, like all those times I try to have a relationship with this guy, or do this, I would just say relationship with a guy, and I'm thinking like, how can I make things work with him and us together? It never felt right to me doing something like that, because, and this is just like, if you're thinking about it for yourself, you with a girlfriend, or you with like your external family, your mother, sisters, whatever, it never feels right doing that with another being that has their own desires and own goals, and has their own accountability of action, because they're gonna do what they want to do. And I mean, your children can do what they want to do too, but as the mother, it's kind of like you're creating this, you create the space, you create the next steps for them to be able to grow into. I mean, for a very long time, they kind of don't have a choice. They kind of just like, follow your lead, and they, waddle behind you, and they're just like, of you. So it's like, you make the ultimate decision. This is not like you and somebody else making a decision and you come together to make this one thing. No, it's just you making the whole decision. the whole decision, and letting it be that decision, and letting it be that flow, and being standing in it, and being proud in it, and moving in that direction. There's so many things, that I'm realizing. It's just like different pieces of like, like when I first found out I was pregnant, I thought, of course, it was one. I didn't never expect it to be two. So I would always say to my partner, like, we're like a holy trinity now. Like, it's a trifecta: me, mother, father, child. And then, without me really knowing that it was going to end, it became the holy trinity still, anyway, because it's me and twins. And I love that. Like, I'm like, that feels so good. And just like, like changing the energy of my friendships have made them much more honest and much more like, I let go of like expectations from them. Being honest with myself and with my family members. Kind of just being like, I don't really want to deal. Like, I didn't want to deal before with certain shit, and I really don't want to deal with it now. And forget about it when these babies come. I don't want to deal with no type of shit when these babies come. And that's just like, it's like moving in those directions of like more and more of like a comfort in self. And I didn't think that it could get any better than before. Like, before I was feeling like completely like at the ultimate high of myself. Like, I love myself. I feel great. I'm doing what I want to do. I'm riding the wave. And now I just feel like it went past that. And I'm like, how the fuck does it get even more better? Like, how does it get better than this? And so I'm living in this glory. And then it circles back around. Like, it starts at like this place of like, everything happening for a reason, and like looking back at the past and like, oh, this makes sense why it's happened. That makes sense why that happened. And like looking at it now today, like, okay, now I see how the puzzle pieces fit in. This is like rolling out of like, I feel so grateful, and rolling out of like, this is like glorious, divine. And then it comes back to like, oh goodness, I feel so bad. Like, I feel so good. So many things. So many things. So many things. I feel really good. I feel so good. My baby spent a lot of time protecting me, and now I feel like they're kind of telling me like, okay, mom, we did a good job. Like, you're protected. Like, we've created a very nice sturdy bubble for us, for you, and so you're protected. Like, continuously. Like, you don't have to worry about anybody trying to penetrate. They can't. And that feels great. It does. It feels really good. I had a thought that I wanted to write down over there, and I forgot it. I hate that. I forget things. I sat on the floor because I need to like keep moving my legs and stuff. I don't want to stop recording, but second trimester. It just gets better and better. I would like if you pray for me for third trimester, because I feel like I can see that it's gonna slap me in my face. Okay. I'm gonna blow up. The babies are gonna start getting ready to come. I feel like they're ready. Spiritually, like they're ready, not physically, but like spiritually, they're like, they want to be here. And I'm like, okay, well, you have to wait. So I know that when they're ready, they're gonna become. And I pray that I don't have to go to the NICU. I pray that they are both naturally, birthed. I just pray that it's easy, breezy. I just pray for that. These are the teddy bears that I made. This is a part of my nesting too. So I made this one first, as you can see. for the boy, and this is for the girl. How cute is this? So I put the buttons on them for a little play cuteness. It's made out of felt and filled with cotton balls. And I made this bow from scratch. Like literally, like everything is like, I sewed everything. And it feels good to nest this way. So I'm like, okay. Like I like nesting. I like just being calm and being home. It's just being like, feeling the move. I like this. That's all I really had to talk about.